me this time.
Well, hello, Buckaroos. I am joined by Todd Renn in Sellersburg, Indiana. This was an off the cuff. We have nothing planned, but I'm going to start with a Boulevard Tropical Pale that I had yesterday, and I'm pouring it into a Beck's glass my wife had found. I believe it's only about a 10-ounce glass. It might even, it says 0.25 liter now I see it. I don't know the exchange on that. I wasn't sure by pouring if this was actually an 8 or a 10-ounce glass. You have to know off the top of your head what a quarter liter is.
Uh, do not.
But anyway, it's a neat little glass. I need to buy some Becks. I got to buy some Becks just so I can. I love pouring the right beer into the logo glass. So, but it's kind of like a mini dimpled glass.
That's
So I'm
pretty cool.
guessing, yeah, I'm guessing it's probably a half pint would be my guess.
Another little gem that your wife found, I guess.
Yeah, a DAV at a DAV store. Yep, she finds most of my stuff at the DAV store. So what are you drinking, Todd?
I am drinking 18th Street Brewery. It's called Seven. It's a Black India Pale Ale. Never had it. Just picked them up a week or so ago, and I'll read just a little bit from the can. I didn't look anything up on it. Sometimes there's stuff you can't find on the website very much. It says equal parts roasted malts and bitter hops. Seven Black India Pale Ale revolutionizes lackluster notions of what an IPA can be.
So I'm a fan of the black IPA or the India Dark Ale. How do you feel about the style in general?
It's one that I don't drink a ton of, so I don't have a lot of, um, I guess, experience you could say of drinking black IPAs. But the ones I have had, they've been good. It's just not one I pick up a lot, and not one that you see a lot of breweries brewing. It seems.
Yeah, Piney River, you've heard me talk about, has got a really nice one, 7% the IBUs, if I remember correctly, called the Masked Bandit. That one is very nice.
And they don't list any of the. I'll have to look it up. They don't list any of the IBUs or the ABV on the can.
I'll show you. I'm kind of two-fisted. It's one of those days I'm two-fist drinking. I've got some Rocktown 3-year-old bourbon, 4%, so that's 92 proof. Using a Bushmills glass, another one my wife found at a DAV store. I'm drinking on the rocks because I have a really nice day today. It's probably, I don't know what the actual temp feels like. It's in the 80s somewhere. How's the weather in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, sunny, same, about probably high 70s, low 80.
Yeah, it kind
No,
of feels like that.
no humidity. It's nice.
Yeah, it's
Last
very.
2 days have been great.
So I talked to you
Here's the
yesterday.
canner.
The Boulevard Tropical hasn't made your neck of the woods yet.
No, I haven't seen it. Haven't looked for it, but I haven't seen it actually.
If you like those tropical fruit flavors, I mean, a lot of passion fruit. It's brewed with grapefruit and a grapefruit peel, it says, and grapefruit juice and passion fruit juice. So if you like those flavors, which are very trendy right now, you're going to like it. I mean, it is a rather fresh pale ale. They do say it has a nice malt body. Tell you to look for notes of caramel. Not really sure if I'm getting that very much, but there is some going on there. It's an enjoyable beer. It is a nice summer beer. It kind of feels
I'll have to look.
one-dimensional, but it is a good summer beer.
I'll have to look for it.
And now I'm having some bourbon. So tell me about Black IPA. What aromas and flavors are you getting?
I'm definitely getting the roasted malts on the nose. Haven't had a sip of it yet, but don't not really apparent of the bitterness of any of the hops, but I do get the roasted. Definitely a lot of roastiness to it. Try it and see. Oh, yeah, it's nice. A little bit of the hopness, bitterness in the end, but the front of it's nice, roasty, barley, malty flavor to it. But then back end you get a little subtle of the bitterness from the hops, but not as much. Not much. It's a nice balance.
Are you getting notes of coffee in there, or mostly just the roasted barley flavor?
A little coffee flavor. Not nearly of the Founders that I was drinking last night.
Are you getting what spec hop flavors are you getting? Are you getting the more earthy? Are you getting some citrus going on?
No, I'm not really getting any citrus at all. It's mostly a coffee flavor. Maybe a hint of citrus in the end.
Yeah,
get a little bit of get a little bitterness towards the end of the hoppy citrusy a little bit, but not it's not real apparent. It does balance out the roastedness pretty, nicely. Now as it kind of sits and lingers in my mouth a little bit, I get more of the bitterness coming through.
Beers like that, you tend to feel the more as it warms up.
Yeah, and I just pulled this one straight out of the fridge, so probably a little colder than it should be.
So I like to start them a little colder because I like to feel the change rather than with the beer right at 50, 55. I like to drink them, start a little colder, and then see how it feels as it warms.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do too, because you do get the changes of the flavor and the notes in them as it does warm up. Some things start becoming more apparent.
That beer does pour very nice. I like my little. I'm guessing it probably is about an inch glass or a half pint.
I like
This is a neat little glass, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like I said, I haven't bought beer in a long time, and I'm gonna have to go buy this so I can pour a Beck's into the Beck's glass.
It's been a while since I've had a Beck's too, as well.
Back when I was a youngster, though, that was thought of as a great beer. The beer choices were a little slim in my early 20s. But yeah, when we had a little extra money, we'd buy because it was a little more than your average beers,
Right.
But boy, that was thought of as a great beer at the time. Of course, now it's kind of looked down upon. But
what's going on?
There's a little bit of sweetness on the nose. It almost feels like you ever have those like fruit slices that have the sugar rim, that have the orange and the grapefruit.
Kind of the gummy type.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those things.
What it smells like is you smell the tartness of the fruit and the passion fruit, but there's a little sweetness around. It kind of feels like those like those slices or grapefruit slices.
Huh.
There's just a hint of sugar, and then you feel some of that bitterness. It's rather refreshing beer. I'm just one of those guys that's not necessarily crazy about tropical fruit flavors all the time. So it's not that I would sit and drink a 6-pack, but it is a very refreshing beer.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the numbers are on this one. I'll have to look it up. I should have done that before we went live, but
that's okay.
They usually list their stuff on their cans or bottles, but this one I don't see. I would check now, but I'm afraid I'll lose you.
It's funny. Sometimes I'll look before I start a video, and sometimes go, screw it. I'm just going to start it up and see what happens. This one actually lists 5.9 on the can. They don't list the IBUs, but I did look it up. I believe it said 45 IBUs.
But I can't imagine I would imagine that that's probably the range this one's in, 35 to 45 area probably. And it doesn't feel real hoppy for being of course, a black IPA, but
Call itself an IPA.
Yeah.
Are you're more than if I'm reading you right? You're feeling of the malt notes, the roasted barley notes, rather than the hops. You're just feeling the hops kind of at the end of the finish.
Correct. Yep. It says equal parts roasted malts and bitter hops, but I don't. I guess I would agree with that because neither one. I mean, to me, the roastiness stands out more than the bitterness of the hops. But it does have a little finish bitter to it. But it does kind of balance out the roastiness and the coffee notes to it.
So what are you up to today in your
I am getting a hint of chocolate now a little bit, but not a ton. Yeah, as it's warmed up a little bit.
Some of those chocolate notes as well. So there you go. That's what's neat about letting it cold or letting it warm is all go, holy crap. I've noticed sometimes I'll do a video and I'll finish the video and I'm sitting there drinking the beer and thinking, oh, no, not that. So then I have to do a second of the video.
Yeah, definitely getting some of the chocolate notes now that it's warmed. I've kind of been sitting here in my hand trying to warm it up a little bit so it'll get there a little bit quicker. It's nice. I like it. It's a good balance. It's a nicely put together IPA, black IPA, in my opinion, anyway.
I like the style. It's kind of one of those styles that I think beer geeks, beer enthusiasts, craft beer nerds, whichever, most tend to either love or hate. Some just aren't a style. I really enjoy this. I think that the roasted malts work well with the hops, but find it too astringent. But for me,
yeah, like I said, I haven't had a ton of them. Not everybody makes a black IPA, so they're not always that easy to find.
What are you up to in the neck of the woods this weekend?
Oh, not much. I was just hanging out. I was just watching the Reds game, watching them lose again. It wasn't over, but they were losing when I come out here. So,
you and I have done a video just talking about baseball.
Yeah, we'd do that again.
But baseball and beer tend to go together, I think, don't you?
Baseball, beer, peanuts, and hot dogs.
We need to choreograph well, but we need to figure out we're both got the grill out, grilling some hot dogs with a baseball game going, and have so we can talk about the game. Hot dog here. We can talk about our choice of hot dogs, what we like on a hot dog. Make a big baseball video.
Oh, there you go. We could do that. We could do that on a Saturday afternoon or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool if we could figure that out. Getting the details is going to be difficult, getting it available at the same time. But I got to tell you, I love the idea. I'm impressed with myself at the moment.
Might be a long video, but
hot dogs. Do you have a favorite hot dog brand or does it matter to you?
No, not really. I like hot dogs in general, so it's not I don't really have a favorite. I do kind of like the kosher Hebrew National hot dogs are pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I love the Hebrew National. I love the Vienna beef dogs when I can get too expensive to buy to cook at home.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't get those too often. A lot of times I just go for the old cheapies and just throw them on the grill.
Gourmet brands that do a pork and beef dog, and I really like those when I can get a nice skin beef dog. I'm not talking the chicken and stuff, but there's a couple good brands that a good pork and beef dog in a natural case. Love to slow cook on my grill. They just come out nice.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Do you have a style you like? A Chicago dog, more of a New York dog? A traditionalist, mustard, or better?
No, yeah, I'm just kind of more of a traditionalist. I like I tend to lean towards the ketchup more than I do the mustard, but.
Oh no, you're not a spotted dog guy. That's a natural.
I know, it's sacrilege, right?
My dad always had dogs the same way. He'd do mustard, pickle relish, and if onions were available, he'd put onions. But everything had to have mustard and pickle relish. Or sweet relish.
Yeah. No, I just kind of like them. I just kind of go plain, go for especially if it's a good hot dog. I just kind of go with them as they are, and sometimes mustard, sometimes ketchup. I'll vary. Sometimes I go with a little sriracha and put on them too.
see, I do that too. There was when Seamus was younger, he was probably about 5 when we first recipe, but we were watching one of the cooking. They were doing a Venezuelan dog. I'm trying to remember all the ingredients, but it used mustard, ketchup. I believe it used relish, cabbage, and crushed potato chips.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I think he was about 5 the first we saw that recipe, and he just loved it. So we kept doing that year round for several years because he loved the Venezuela. So anytime we did dog, I'd have to have all those ingredients for the Venezuela dog. It's an interesting combo, though. It sounds odd, but it works because the mustard, but the cabbage is just like you use basically like a slaw mix, but you put it into coleslaw. Just put a little bit of that on your dog. That gives you a little bit of crunch and potato chips. It sounds odd, but it works.
Well, I was one of those that like to put regular old potato chips on a good old bologna sandwich.
Oh yeah, see, same principle.
Yeah.
Same flavor, basically. Have you ever had a Chicago dog? Are you a fan of the style? I love Chicago dogs personally.
I have with like the sport pepper and
yeah.
What else is on? I guess what else is on? I can't remember now.
We
had some over at John's one time.
They do a green relish, typically a mustard. I think it's usually a brown mustard. I have to look up my notes. But yeah, they do a pickle spear, tomatoes. I'm forgetting something, but I'm not remembering at the moment. They usually use celery salt as well on.
Right. Yeah, that's the main ingredient. And it has to be on a special type of bun too, right?
Poppy seed bun, yeah.
Poppy seed bun, yeah. There you go. I remember we made some over at John's one weekend, and we looked all over the place for stupid poppy seed buns.
They are hard to find. They are difficult to find neck of the woods.
Yeah, they were hard to find here too. I don't know if we ended up finding them like at a Whole Foods or somewhere. I can't remember now, but it wasn't easy to come up with them. That's for sure. Might even been a local bakery or something that we ended up getting them at.
Yeah, you almost have to get to a specialty store. I don't have a grocery store that can.
But they're pretty good. I wouldn't say it's one I would go towards or just crave or anything, but.
Oh really? Yeah, everyone. If I find a place that has Chicago dog, I'll order them. Yeah. And the New York dog, we use sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut, yeah. See, I'm not a big sauerkraut fan.
Oh, there is something about a baseball game. You almost, whether it be a minor league game or a major league game, you almost have to have a hot dog and a beer, or at least a hot dog if you're not having a beer. It doesn't feel like a baseball game if you're not eating a hot dog.
Yeah, one or the other or both. Lean towards both most of the time.
yeah. I'm getting a little even some minor leagues though. I've got a AA team here in town, the Springfield Cardinals, and they are so freaking expensive. I mean, I think $8 a beer these days, and that seems crazy, especially for a park.
Yeah, that's the way it is here. We have a AAA team here, Reds minor league AAA team in Louisville, and they're the same way. Although they do run on Thursday nights after they call it their after work hangout or whatever until the game starts. They got a little overlook deck out in right field, and you can get dollar beers from basically happy hour between 5 until first pitch.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a good deal. Yeah.
And then a lot of times on I think it's Tuesday nights.
You line up by as many as you can at a time.
Yeah, I think they only I haven't been this year, but they used to. I think they only let you 2 per person. So yeah, you fill it up and basically just get back in line again.
You just keep going back until it runs out.
That's right.
Oh, mercy. I'm ready. Have any thoughts on the beer you're drinking?
No, it's nice. It's a good balance. Nice black IPA. The roasted hot barley and the malts is a good combination with the hops in it. It's a nice balance. Really good.
To close out this session with Todd, we talked about beer, we talked about hot dogs, we talked about baseball. I covered just about everything important, didn't we?
I think so.
This is Tom the Beer Whisperer. Thanks, Todd, for joining me. Thanks, those of you that watched, and we might be back with another one. Who knows?
Thank you. Have a good one.
Maybe.